This is American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com. For more information, go to the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com, American Liberty Radio at USA.com. I know a lot, folks. I know quite a bit. Sorry, I'm making noise here with my headphones. They're not as quiet as I thought. Yeah, they're little tiny ones here. There are so many things going on that it's just strange to me, and this is just me. This is just me. It's strange to me that people cannot see. They cannot see beyond what is actually there. Now, let me explain. You got the mainstream propaganda media telling you one thing. You've got the independent media telling you the truth and the facts. You've got all of these other people coming forward, these whistleblowers, all these other people. Then you have other people countering all of that. Then you have all this intellectual, stuff going on, and then you have the bombing in Manchester, which it hurt a lot of people, killed a lot of people. Then you have the Hollywood liberals coming out saying nothing in support of those people who were hurt, or any of that. You've got okay, it's all confusing. All right, it's all a mass mind meld of delusion from the liberals, and you've got all this power plays from the conservatives trying to, make sense of all this. And everybody's in it for themselves. Everybody's in it for their own 15 minutes of fame. Everybody's in it for something, some reason behind that, right? Some reason for these people to do what they do. No matter if it's for or against or whatever. There's a reason people are doing this. There's a reason people are saying what they're saying. There's a reason for all of this, folks. And let me tell you, I don't know the specifics behind all of this, but I do know this, that at some point, that Jenga tower is going to come crumbling down, and everyone is going to look at exactly what has happened, and when the smoke clears, everybody's going to have egg on their face, realizing that they were completely and utterly wrong because they were lied to, they were manipulated, you name it. You can just go down the line and you will see the results of what's going to happen. Now, I don't know the specifics behind the reason why, but I know the outcome. Okay? I know the outcome. Because of the pressure on people and the pressure on the media and the pressure on the governments and around the world, and the pressure is going to build up, much like your tea kettle on the stove, which whistles when it's ready. It's going to really, really, really be a massive problem if the pressure continues on both sides. This happened because, or that happened for this reason, or, what I was talking about earlier. It's going to build up. There is a reason, but I don't know the specific reasons, but I know if I had the time and connected all of the little dots and connected the things going on, I can find out and put two and two together and figure this out and know what the reason is. But I can venture a guess. I'm not speculating, I'm guessing on this, but my guess is probably more than 90% fact because I know the players in this game. In this worldwide chess game, I know the players. So chances are I'm about 90% correct when I guess as to what the outcome and who's doing this and what the outcome will be. Now, with that said, there is several things that come to mind, but I'll give you two of those things right now. One, what is the outcome? And two, who is perpetrating all of this to achieve the outcome? Well, first of all, let me tell you the players. The players are the globalists, the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Soros types, all those groups that they, fund and inhabit and work with and all that, and including government-funded terrorism. Okay, those are the players. Now, what's the outcome? Total and absolute collapse of the world's economy to bring everyone together in one massive new world, one world order, and to end, and there's a second part to this, to end all individual rights, property rights, you name it. Every single person on the face of the planet is never going to have a right to do anything, a God-given right to do anything, because governments will turn it around and make it a privilege. Oh, wait, they're doing that now. Now, with all that said, with that big, broad picture painted with the massive brush of truth, let me tell you this. I cannot and will not put up with ignorance. I won't. I will not put up with ignorance. Ignorance in ignorance in just ignoring the obvious. And B, ignorance in just being completely stupid. I won't put up with it. I won't. The reason is because Mama didn't raise no fool and Grandma taught me better. Now, I am a history, wouldn't say buff, but I am very, very interested in every aspect of history, not only in the propaganda we've learned in school, but also behind all of that. What is causing this and that? You know what I mean. Read between the lines of the revisionist propagandist history that's out there, right? So I look at history and I say, okay, the Roman Empire fell because of this. The European Empire failed because of certain elements and yada, yada. I can go down the line and give you all that, but don't have a whole lot of time. So, take into consideration this. Take into consideration that you've been told one thing, and one thing only, that you are supposed to believe. This is what the system tells you. Here, believe this. Basically, that's what they're doing. But you, within yourself, in your something inside of you says something's not quite right. That's your intuition kicking in and telling you that something's not quite right. So listen to it. It's 100% correct. So you look at everything around you and you examine what people have told you to believe, and then you realize, wait a minute, they're full of crap. What are you going to do, folks? What are you going to do? How are you going to handle the next step, knowing that you've been lied to? Okay, remember what I was talking about before? And then look at the players, and then look at the situations, and then look at what you've been told. So what are you going to do? You've been lied to, folks. You've been lied to. Okay? Every single person that has gone to a governmental indoctrination institute has been lied to. Okay? Everybody has been lied to. Now, I want you to be aware of several things. First, there is a reason, and I can tell you specifically what that reason is. There is a reason why the mainstream propaganda media lies to you. There is a reason for it. And that reason is real simple. They don't want you to know the truth. It comes down to that. They don't want you to know the truth. Basically. That's it. When you look at the independent media, when you look at the alternative media, and when you look at all of those open-minded discussions, my question is, even in the alternative media, where I reside as an independent journalist, my question is, who's trying to pull the wool over your eyes? But also, keep in mind that there are people out there in the independent alternative media that are saying, I cannot make any claims to this. I cannot say if this is true or false or whatever, so I'm putting it out for you guys to question. That's where I'm at. And so I put all this out there for you to question. Now, I would rather see a media organization do that than what the mainstream propaganda media does. Because in that way, you yourself have to go basically do your homework. So, in the alternative media, there is facts, because that's all that we look at. And that's all we try to find, actually. To present to you those things which we believe you need to know. But see, I can't tell you whether it's, how accurate is it? Well, see, I can present it to you. So can anybody else in the alternative media. We can present it to you, but you are the ones that have to determine how truthful, honest, and accurate it is. I can tell you right now, Mama didn't raise no fool and Grandma taught me better. Don't lie, you'll get caught in it. That's something I've learned many years ago. You'll get caught in a lie and you'll sit there and, and so don't lie. Tell the truth, be honest, be as accurate and truthful as you possibly can with the information that you have available to you, which I'm giving you, and so is everybody else in the alternative media. You're the one that has to go out and determine whether or not it's factual from your perspective. We're telling you the facts. We're giving you the truth. This is what it is. This is how things are happening in our world today. Hey, look, here's my poker hand I'm showing you. Are you going to win against me? This is the type of scenario hypothetically, presented. I mean, did I just confuse the crap out of you? Let me simplify it for you. I'm giving you the information. It's factual to the best of my ability of gathering the information with the resources I have. Is it factual? Is it accurate? Is it honest? Well, as much as I can tell, yes. That's why, on the B side of that, I encourage you to go out and look this stuff up on your own. Okay? Real simple. If you question anything I say or anybody else in the alternative media, go out and look it up yourself, because you're the one that has to find that information for you from your perspective. Okay? That's you. Okay. Let me move on. I just wanted to share that with you because I just wanted to give you a foundation of what I'm going to be talking about today, because several things have happened. ISIS claims responsibility for the Manchester attack. Now, why did they do it? Because they're douchebags, and they want to destroy everybody, and they want to have an Islamicized world. Yes, that's what they want. Oh, by the way, little reference that I want to give to you. Go back in 1970-something. Let me go look, and I'll give you the accurate information for this. I've mentioned this in previous podcasts, but I want to give you the accurate information again, and that is go back to a film based on the best-selling book published in 1970 by Hal Lindsey with Carol C. Carlson. And it's a book called The Late Great Planet Earth. And it became a film that was released in 1979. Okay? And there's narration in it. It's basically it's a late great planet Earth. I'm looking at the IMDb page for it right now. The thing that you have to remember is, and here's where I'm going with this, history does repeat itself. Have we had terrorists before? Of course we have. We've had them in the Roman Empire many, thousands of years ago. We've had them in the European Empire. We had them in, all these other countries and other dynasties and other, cultures have had other people in them that terrorized certain other people and certain other groups. We've had it throughout history. It's always going to be there. It's never going to stop. It's going to be really today, as of the 23rd of May, 2017, it is the thorn in global society's side right now. It has been ramped up to levels unprecedented in our history. Certain people make claims, certain people make observations. They bring about the information to show who's doing this, who's doing that, whatever it is, right? So we know who these people are. By the way, I've set all that up to say this. ISIS is being funded by organizations around the world that we call the intelligence community. Now, does that mean that it's wrong for me to say that because people have died? No, because that's just collateral damage. Okay, Boston bombing, 9/11, but name it. Okay. Body counts are not the goal of terrorism. The goal of terrorism is to wipe out people who are not accepting a certain religious, in this case, religious way of life. But how is that happening? Like I said, when you look at the numbers, when you connect the dots, follow the money. I say that all the time. Connect the dots and follow the money. You will see that ISIL, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Mujahideen, they're all one and the same group, just different leaders. They changed their names since the 1970s. It's the same group of people, and guess who's funding them? Did we not just give $109.7 billion to Saudi Arabia? Connect the dots, folks. Follow the money. It's there. Let me move on before I continue to. Let me just move on here. CNN analyst says Manchester attack could be quote unquote right-wing false flag. BBC analyst says people need to quote get used to unquote attacks. This is 23rd May 2017. Steve Watson, Infowars.com. Thank you, Steve. Less than 24 hours removed from the latest horrific ISIS-inspired terrorist attack in the UK, a talking head on CNN programming has suggested that the bombing could actually be a quote right-wing false flag unquote in order to quote unquote frame Islamicists. Alex Griswold, in a tweet, hashtag Griswold, this is at hashtag Griswold on Twitter. Alex Griswold says, I looked this up and the full intent of debunking an internet rumor, but yes, a CNN analyst actually suggested this. He goes on to say, CNN analyst said Manchester was likely an Islamic attack, but floated the idea that it could have been false flag by right-wing extremists. That's Alex Griswold at hashtag Griswold on Twitter. Thank you, Steve Watson and Infowars.com. While admitting that the attack was most likely an Islamic plot, the analyst claimed that there have been multiple instances in Europe of right-wing extremists plotting to carry out attacks to make it appear that Muslims were to blame. Nazi Reichstag fire. Go look that one up. The comments appear to have been made on CNN in the first couple of hours of coverage of the attack. Meanwhile, BBC anchor Katty Kay told viewers that Europeans must, quote, get used to terror attacks because we are never going to be able to totally wipe this out, unquote. Kay made the comments on MSNBC's Morning Joe. Quote, as ISIS gets squeezed in Syria and Iraq, we're going to see more of these kinds of attacks taking place in Europe, and Europe is starting to get used to that, unquote, Kay added, with caveat that no one is, quote, used to having children targeted, unquote. Kay's comments echo those of London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who before the Winchester attack in March said that terrorist attacks are, quote, part and parcel, unquote, of living in a major city. Police now arrested a suspect and named the suicide attacker as 23-year-old Salman al-Bedi, who was known to British authorities prior to the attack. British Prime Minister Theresa May said that there is an ongoing investigation to determine if the attacker, quote, was acting alone or was part of a wider group, unquote. Quote, this attack stands out for its appalling, sickening cowardice, deliberately targeting innocent, defenseless children and young people who should have been enjoying one of the most memorable nights of their lives, unquote. May said, quote, this was among the worst terror incidents we've ever experienced, and the United Kingdom, unquote, the Prime Minister added. And she also added a tweet. She says, quote, "The terrorists will never win," unquote. British Prime Minister Theresa May delivers remarks following Manchester bombing. They won't. I will put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. They won't win. And I'll tell you why. It's real simple, very, very direct to you. It's very simple, and I will tell you why terrorists will never win. Good always prevails. And with the massive amount of people knowing what is going on around the world, and with the masses coming together and coordinating efforts to put down this rabid dog of radical Islamic terrorism, you're going to find a massive outcome that is going to really be not so much a surprise to people, but it's going to be very unexpected. It's going to be bigger than people could ever imagine. Okay? That is on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Let me go and tell you about another article I saw. And that is, well, as soon as I get to it again, here it is. Reuters is reporting on the 23rd of May 2017, Manchester suicide bombing prompts security rethinks worldwide. Global police state strengthens in wake of terrorism. The more false flag terrorist attacks and the more legitimate terrorist attacks, the more that the world will come together in terms of what I'm going to call the global state, and they're going to suppress everyone from doing anything, anywhere, for any reason. Okay? It's going to get that bad, folks. Countries from the United States to Japan and Singapore are considering tightening security ahead of major theater and sports events following a suicide bomb attack in Britain that killed at least 22 people. Prime Minister Theresa May called an emergency meeting with intelligence chiefs on the deadliest militant assault in the country since 4 British Muslims killed 52 people in suicide bombings in London's transport system in July of 2005. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security said it was closely monitoring Monday's attack at the end of a concert by U.S. singer Ariana Grande in Manchester, and that the U.S. public may experience increased security at public events. All I can say is, I'm going to put that, it says read more, but I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. All I can say is, in response to that, is as much as we can find ways to strengthen security at sporting events, here's something to remember. Every move we make to secure our citizens and every move we make to identify those against the peace, freedom, and liberty and security that we have in this nation, for every move we make, the terrorists funded by various organizations will always find ways to counter that. Let me make this very simple to understand. You guys out there played college football, basketball, whatever it was, sports, right? You guys know that when you go into the locker room or go into the meeting, to see how the game was the night before or a couple of days before, you will see your opponents, your visiting team, and also your own team, you will see how they play. You will see the strategies that they have. You can identify who's going where, doing what, when, why, how, and what outcome it will be because you already know the game. You know the playbook. You see the playbook, especially for you football players out there. You know this. For everything we do in America on to protect our citizens in some way, there's always going to be counter efforts to weasel their way into trying to find a way to undermine our security. And let me say this, and I know people get really, really, really upset about this, but let me say this. The front line to the security of the United States of America is not Washington, D.C. The front line to the security of the United States of America is a much stronger military within the borders of the United States of America, not strung out all over the world fighting civil wars of other countries. And the front line to for the citizens in the cities and in the counties and in the states they reside in are the citizens themselves. Period. If we want Islamic terrorism to stop, it does not mean that we're Islamophobic or prejudiced or racist in any way, shape, or form. It is a natural ability we have to defend ourselves against an enemy out to kill us. Do you understand that? So enough of the bull crap from the mainstream propaganda media. Understand that we, the people of the United States of America, will come together to protect this country because Washington, D.C. has failed to secure the borders of the United States of America. Okay? Do you understand me? Because it's very simple to understand. How do we do that? Bring the military back home. All of them. I know I passed the break. I will go here in a minute. Bring all of our military back to the United States. What part of all don't you understand? Bring them all back to the United States of America. Tell the other countries fighting civil wars, you're not getting our help anymore. We're done. You fight your own damn battles. We're done. We're taking funding away from all of your, all of those people. No, we're done. You guys fight your own wars. That's just the way it is. Because I'll tell you why. 2 reasons, actually. The United States of America is, or at least was at one time, the most powerful nation in the world. Why? Basically because we can blow any other country off the face of the map, excluding China and Russia. That just makes us a bully in the massive global schoolyard. That's one thing. The other reason is very simple. The United States of America and its people structure their lives in such a way to where they want to be happy, secure, profitable, productive. The only way to do that is to create certain things in life that would accommodate for that. 2 things: liberty and freedom. That's the United States of America. You look at every other country around the world, you don't have as much freedom and liberty as we do in the United States of America. You talk badly about your leaders, your basic law enforcement following orders will come drag you out of the house and throw your ass in jail. Okay? In the United States, because our God-given right of freedom of speech and freedom of expression is protected by a Bill of Rights, we have the ability to talk badly about our leaders, and we won't get arrested. Oh, wait, maybe in some areas. Now, I say that because of the fact that we have political prisoners sitting in a prison in Nevada. And we have political prisoners who are journalists who are sitting in prison because of what they've said. Namely, Pete Santilli from Guerrilla Media Network was reporting on the Malheur Refuge, incident and was arrested. His charges and all of that were dropped. He was acquitted. They let him go. The feds looked at him and said, what is he doing here? And acquitted him. And, now he's got to answer for, whatever is happening in Nevada with the Bundy Ranch in 2014. All he did, and I heard his show, was report on what was happening in Bunkerville at the Bundy Ranch. That the BLM and the federal government were trying to steal the land out from under Cliven Bundy and his family. Basically, Cliven Bundy was the only rancher in that area out of 50 or 60 others over the past, 20, 30 years or so. He was the only one left because the federal government under Harry Reid basically oversaw the acquisition of that land, and they sent their law enforcement or their, pretty much their leg breakers, the Bureau of Land Management, in there to steal the land by jacking up fees and doing this and whatever. They manipulated the situation to take the land away from Cliven Bundy. Pete Santilli, independent journalist from Guerrilla Media Network, went and literally interviewed Cliven Bundy on his radio show. And after that interview and after the show, and I heard this myself, Pete Santilli said, I'm going down there this weekend. This is back in 2014. I'm going down there this weekend. And he did. After his radio show that day, he packed up his stuff and was on the road and went down there. There were other people down there, of course, coming to support Cliven Bundy, but all hell broke loose. That video you saw on Fox News and other places where Ammon Bundy was tased, that video was done by Pete Santilli. We have political prisoners in the United States of America who are really innocent for freedom of press. He went down there and talked with these people, including criminal BLM officer and official, I should say, Daniel P. Love. Okay? So, what do we do? What do we do, folks? What do we do? What do we do? Do you see the mess that is currently within the borders of the United States because of our mainstream propaganda media? Do you see the results of false flag terrorism? And that's what I'm going to call it from now on because it's funded by, you name it, CIA, clandestine organizations from federal government and other governments and our allies and gathering and all the... Yeah. I'm just going to call it for what it is. Now, we see this. We understand this. We know this. Here it is right there in your face. And I'm going to tell all my friends that keep telling me, oh, you're one of them conspiracy theorists. I'm going to tell all my friends that keep calling me that. Either put, and I'm serious about this. I'm very serious about this. Either put your information on the table, as I like to call it, the metaphorical table of debate. Put your information on the table or shut your damn mouth. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. At all. I didn't investigate and research and go through all of these documents that I saw in the last 40 years of my research into geopolitics and what's happening behind the curtain for nothing, okay? Not to just store it in my head to go, yes, I know this information. No. I wanted to convey that and have conveyed that in the late 70s, early 80s through Reagan and Bush and Clinton and all that. And I told people what was going on, and they looked at me like I was freaking nuts. They looked at me like I was a crazy person. But I'm not. Because everything I learned under President Carter and the Grenada incident, which started me down this road of investigating and researching geopolitics around the world, has shown me from 1977 to about 1994, when Clinton was president, that everything I investigated and researched was verified, clarified to me every single step of the way. In Clinton's second term, there were certain things like bombings and all of this. I began to look at this thing called false flag events. I started hearing about that about 94 when Clinton was running for his second term. And guess what? From 95 to today, 23rd of May 2017, everything that I've seen, everything that I have known, everything that I have understood, everything that I've researched and investigated is absolutely 100% true. Behind the curtain, people are pushing buttons and pulling the handles, and the facade is falling down, and people behind that are being revealed, and we know who these people are. So I don't want to hear any of my friends at all ever I don't care. You need to either put your information on the table so that we can discuss it and look at it and examine it very openly and honestly, or you can shut your damn mouth. I am not a conspiracy theorist, never have been, never will be. If anything, I'm a conspiracy analyst, and I look at these things from JFK to Oklahoma and to the Boston bombing and to 9/11, and you name it, I can look at it. Even things like Waco with the Branch Davidians and David Koresh. So that's my track record. And my point of all this is real simple. What is happening in front of your face is one thing, and you see it for what it is. You don't have to hear anybody talk about it. You see it for what it is. There it is. And you've got two choices. Either pay attention to it and find a way to protect yourself and find a way to overcome those things, or shut the door, pull the curtains, turn your TV up, and cut everything off from the outside world and isolate yourself from everything. And because I know that I know very small percentage of people that would do that, but I know the vast majority of people in the United States will not do that. I can tell you with confidence that at some point, don't know when, and it's not a matter of if, but at some point, we are going to have one hell of a massive civil war in the United States of America. And it's not going to be against, different races or different whatever. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be anything that's going to be small. It's not. No. This is going to be massive, unimaginably massive. And it's going to be between the federal government trying to shut us down independent media, alternative media, and the likes. It's going to be the government against the people. It's going to be those organizations trying to infiltrate, people like us and creating, networks and trying to put out disinformation. It's going to be that. And the catalyst of all that, that's going to be the catalyst. The outcome of all that is going to be a massive, unimaginable civil war against the government and all of its little clandestine organizations and the people of the United States of America. That's what it's going to be. And there's going to be components within that. Now remember this and look for this, because I've seen this before in history. There's going to be components, mind you, of like religious organizations and other things that have, been a part of our society. More so, it's going to be religion. More so, it's going to be a varying philosophy or something different. But those are going to be some of the components that are going to be involved in this massive civil war. Now, I don't want a shooting war. I'm not. No. Is it going to happen? More than likely, yes. But I'm ready for it. I'm spiritually, psychologically, and physically ready for it. Am I at 100%? Not really. But I can take care of myself the best way I know how, because Daddy taught me how to take care of myself. And I can tell you this much. For the past several years, I would say, I'm going to go as far as saying, because I don't specifically remember when this epiphany hit me, but for the last 15 years or so, I've realized that there were two things that jumped out at me in my investigation and research into all this. Number one, people are afraid. There's no doubt about that. People are afraid. I'm not sugarcoating that. People are afraid. But I've also seen that fear become courage. And I've seen that become, that foundation for people to begin to build their foundation of security in their own lives. So there is that component as well. There is that component as well. But we have to really understand who we are as individuals, what we're capable of handling, how we can, take that, what we know around the world and what's happening and all of the chaos and all of the Islamic, terrorism going on. We need to be able to understand that, to be able to take the steps to do what we must to protect ourselves. So all of that in the last 50 some odd, 48 some odd minutes, I wanted to get that out there because I thought about that last night and I didn't really sleep well last night because I had all that on my mind. How do we take the garbage that's happening in our own country through the far left liberal Marxist, democratic loons that are out there that are, disseminating all this disinformation, misinformation, bullcrap to us? How are we going to take that and throw that garbage out and reveal the truth and the facts to everybody else? That was one of the things that I thought about last night. And I can tell you this much. I don't have all the answers, but I've come up with couple of things, and that is, one, we must do what we must do because in our hearts, in our minds, in our spirits, we know it's right. We must do that. That's number one off the list. Number two, our families, our friends, our coworkers, our neighbors, our neighborhoods, our cities, our states need our involvement, and we must engage in the protection of our society. That's two of the things that I thought about. So as we go about our day on the 23rd of May, 2017, let me remind you of a couple of other things as well. First of all, you are the artist of your life. The canvas is outside of your house. Make it beautiful, people. That's one thing. The other thing is your family, your friends, your coworkers depend on you in some way, shape, or form, and I guarantee you know how to take care of them. I can't tell you how to do that. You already know how. And you must do what is right for you and by them. Those are two things that really have settled me this morning doing this podcast. Before I came and recorded this. But it takes baby steps. Okay. It takes baby steps. Once you get to a very comfortable level of knowing that, yes, I can do this, whatever it is you've decided that you wanted to do, then yeah, those strides are going to be normal. You're going to take, and then you're just there. And you're going to know it. Intuitively, you're going to know it. Okay? So that is what I wanted to tell you also. I'm sorry I didn't take a break today, but I have a lot of people to promote. So I'm just going to tell you what it is. This weekend, the Friday and Saturday, here in Billings, Montana, at Nova Center for the Performing Arts, we have the closing weekend of Suds the Musical. So if you have any questions and want to get a hold of them, go to novabillings.org. So check that out. Suds the Musical. It's fun. I've done the sound for it this past weekend and from its opening, and I can tell you it's a fun show. It really is. You're gonna really enjoy it. So that's Suds the Musical. Go to novabillings.org for more information. Check out another friend of mine, folks, Mr. Tom Slick over at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Playing you the best independent music from around the world. And if you're an independent author, independent filmmaker, that's the place you need to be going. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz, Mr. Tom Slick in the Morning Brew. Spin those CDs or whatever it is now. I don't know how he operates over there at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz, but Tom Slick in the Morning Brew. Play your hits from around the world from all your independent artists, and you can go to their website at 926theblitz.rocks. That's ROCKS. That's 926theblitz.rocks. Check out Mr. Tom Slick in the Morning Brew right there at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Also, check out another friend of mine in the independent alternative media, and that would be Mr. Brian Lang over at Live Truth Radio and TV. Brian Lang, Live Truth Radio and TV. Go to livetruthradio.com. livetruthradio.com. Check him out. Tell him I sent you. And there's a lot of other people that I want to promote, so I'm going to do two more, and then I'm going to play a break here and go from there. But because I need to get out of here, folks. Go check out Mr. John Christopher J-Man Collins at The Truth War. Go to thetruthwar.net. He has had interviews with Rob Dew from InfoWars and Derek McBreen over there at InfoWars as well. So go check him out, Mr. John Christopher J-Man Collins at The Truth War, thetruthwar.net. He's a college student. He's young, and let me tell you something. He's got a lot going on, but also there's another friend of mine that you might want to check out as well. He'll be back on the air soon. I can tell you that with confidence. Mr. Nick Tucker over at Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. Go check out Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook, or go check out Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker at distortedreality.podbean.com, or also hear his shows right here on American Liberty Radio Network. Folks, go check out one more person, and that would be Mr. Robert Bruce over at wakingupthemasses.com. Yeah, you want to talk about secret societies, who's behind the curtain, pushing the buttons, pulling the handles, even more than I can tell you? Go listen to Robert Bruce at wakingupthemasses.com. Check him out as well, wakingupthemasses.com or crazywolfmedia.com. crazywolfmedia.com. Check him out, Mr. Robert Bruce over there. So tell him I sent you. You guys rock, man. Hey, if you want to support American Liberty Radio Network, if you want to support independent media, find one that you trust, find one that you like, find one that you enjoy, and support them. But American Liberty Radio Network is one that is right there on the front lines, sharing with you the truth and the facts without all the BS. And I guarantee you, you're going to get as much truth and as much facts without all the BS as I can give you, because I can. That's just the way it is. Okay. If you want to support American Liberty Radio Network, please consider it, because I got to keep the lights on around here, folks. Seriously. So, anywho, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. You can advertise on the network as well. All the information is right there at American Liberty Radio Network. At AmericanLibertyRadio.com, go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there. Also, you can become a patron. Check out the become a patron link. Just click on that, drop $1 in the kitty, and keep me caffeinated around here and help me keep the lights on. So if you want to do that, please do. Please consider it. Folks, I'm going to end a little early. I'm not going to play any promos. I already gave you enough. So if you missed it, just, hit the back button a little bit, or, hit the little reverse button and go back and listen to it. But folks, you guys rock, man. From all over the world, this network is being heard, and I thank you folks for wanting to know what's happening here in the U.S. and getting my take on what's happening in the world. I thank you folks, man. You guys rock. You guys truly are awesome out there. So I appreciate that. So consider supporting American Liberty Radio Network in any way, shape, or form that you have decided. So thank you again, and I appreciate that a great deal. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hey, you want to tell me to piss off? I don't care. Go ahead. Email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. And folks, I am going to get out of here. AmericanLibertyRadio.com is the website. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com is the email address. I will talk to you later, folks.